Hey there, how's it going? Okay, we're going to go and find tower top 1, so let's move it to being worked on. Go to open. Tower top 1, there we go. Let's see what this looks like. Oh god. This is going to be fun. I can tell. That's sarcasm. It's probably not going to be fun. First of all, we need to see if these model objects have all been connected together or if they're just loosely bound together. They're loosely bound together. That's going to make this, as a game model, somewhat more problematic. So I think it's going to make more sense as to rip these straight off it for the time being. Okay, and inside here we have these. Eesh. Now what I've done is, oh god, I thought I'd paused as well. What I've done is I've fired up UDK quickly, because I want to check out this model and see basically if it's going to work inside UDK before we even do anything. So if I just go to my packages, and let's see, these are all the pieces that I brought across, so I can test whether or not they do anything. As you see, most of them just import without a single problem, but I just want to check my tower top, which that's the mid tower, because you can see there's some errors in some of them that I wanted to avoid. Tower roof, tower top, there, that one. So let's see if I can just drag that across, like that. Hey, where's the tower gone? Let's delete that. I should be able to just double click it and preview it actually. There we go. Just see if there's any severe errors in it that need to be fixed up. I mean, you can see there's some triangulation in it. And those parts there aren't great. It's got 1944 tries in it. Well, I suppose this can stay as is. It'll be okay. Let's get onto the old texturing then. Okay, so I've removed the parts that go around it, like that, obviously, so I'm going to keep them removed as well. Not because they're hard to texture, because they're not, but I think they're just a polygon sink and I don't want to use them at the minute. What I do want to do, however, is start by culling off some bits I don't want, like that. I was going to make this kind of a hollow piece, but I really don't want to. Again, that's not really a modelling decision at this point, it's too late for that. So let's go through and just start selecting parts. And I'm going to take this up just using the grow tool. Grow tool does not want to grow, which ominously makes me worry if this is separate parts. This is separate parts. This is 3 separate parts, in fact. 1, 2, 3. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Alright then. We shall do them separate bits, as they are in this. So, what I'm going to do is do some selection sets. So, with that one selected, go to polygon mode and have tower mid for this one. This is going to be the selection set tower low. This is going to be the tower selection bit, tower tip. And this is tower collar. Okay, just so that we know what all the parts are. So, okay, so actually using selection sets, my god, whatever next. Okay, now I'm going to open up my UVW unwrap, or unwrap UVW, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Open up an editor. And just, as you can see, it's not the greatest automatic unwrap it's ever done. Let's move that over there. So I can actually select by element if I want to, but I'll go over here and select by polygon, and just, you know, have this lower part first. I think I don't have the bottom bits in, so that's not an issue. So I'm going to do a cylindrical, turn the cylindrical off, start moving it. It's obviously quite a small piece, though it should be the complete width of the entire model in order to make sure we don't lose any definition. I also want to make sure it's the top polygons are viewing. There we go. Let's move that down to there so it's out of the way. I'm going to try and logically get these, you know, in the right positions. Now this one, you know, it's a little bit bonky the way it's doing there, but we'll live. Just stick that on and make sure this is the Z-axis, which it is. Turn it off. And we can see that there's some room to basically move these parts around. So, for example, here and here. Turn that off. See, so I'll take these two first. There we are. And what I'm going to do is just scale them a little bit. Like that. And then these ones. Just go through them all. It doesn't take too long, thankfully. Let me change the scale direction. That one's already done, so it's this one. Just try and get them to line up where we can, you know. A wizard's hat, yay. Wizard's sleeve. There we go. Pull that in and then go to the move tool and just move it across a bit. That way its polygons are not all balked, and we can see there's some slightly balked ones going on here. We can untangle those. See, that one goes there. Let's just weld it into place, shall we? If I can ever select the damn thing. Target weld. There we go. I'll keep that one like that. Let's have a look over here. See if there's any more slightly stuffed looking ones going on. Because we obviously prefer not to have untidy overlaps if we can help it. It's like creating a rat's nest soup, isn't it? Just even these out a bit. There we go. Just makes our job easier when we do it that way, you see. And then let's see what these are. These are some polygons that are going through this completely invisibly. Oh, it's the top cap. Okay then, well, that's fine, we can get rid of that. So remember what we do when we have these sort of problems. Edit EVW, edit poly. So drop an edit poly on this. And we're going to go over here and just take our little hat off. And you can see it's got this big old polygon here that we don't need. I mean, this is technically several different models. However, as I mentioned, this wasn't technically created to be made into a game model. It was just, you know, it was considered it would be a good example of, well, what if we did that? What if we took this and made it into a game model? Okay, and down here, is there any in there? Oh, there blooming well is delete. Okay, now if I go to my front viewport, if I can ever get my hotkeys to work again, I'll close DDO because it's obviously running in the background and slowing things the hell down. I can reassemble these. As carefully as I possibly can. I don't want any gaps if I can help it, because it'll look weird. There we go. That should do it. You can see there's that weird little lip thing going on here. Just there. Just come out and have a look at it. Just delete that. Select this one and just bridge them, and then it'll make them into a single object, which will be handy. Especially when it comes to this kind of unbeautiful train wreck that's going along the top here. Ugh. Scruffy models. Scruffy models, scruffy modelers. Don't know how many times I've looked at this kind of work and thought, well, probably going to have to repair that. Looks like today is that day. Let's have a look at the bottom. Bottom looks okay, doesn't it? In fact, there's a lot of geometry in here that just doesn't look like it should be. And it could be a good time to just repair it, rather than mess around with a dirty looking model that I was obviously rushing my way through. Drop into perspective mode, because my hotkeys are really not working at this point. Just going to shift and drag that over there, clone it to an object so I can see what it is, then delete that. There we go. Because there's always better ways of doing things. And then I can just bridge that. If I can remember where my bridge tool's gone. Okay, and get my graphite modelling tools. I don't even know if the graphite modelling tools were out when I was doing this set. Don't need to do it along the bottom there. One there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, there you go. They all fitted. Isn't that marvellous? So now I can bevel them in, or bridge them in, or extrude them in, or whatever. Like that. And if you look, we've got this kind of curved bit going on at the top there. So, let's see. I think what I'll do instead is I'll use a swift loop. Just go through there like that. Why, Chris, you may be asking? Well, deep in the heart of mind and reason, there's a reason for everything. So let's go to our target weld tools, if I can ever find it. I think what I'm going to do is just collapse the entire stack, so collapse all. I don't care if I lose tons of stuff, because this UV layer is going to have to be redone because it's just so horrible. I mean, really, we don't need squillion polygons like we had there, so... in here. You notice our model's much tidier. Go around it all, just doing these minor things. And trust me, it is worth it. We'll have a much nicer model at the end of this. The geometry will be nicer and less messy. We won't have all these awful things going on. It'll just, honestly, right, that's better already. Especially compared to that. I mean, God, what was I doing? Right, let's have a look at this again. That seems fine. Quite like the geometric sharpness of it. Okay, so what I can do now is basically break this down. I'm going to take the tower top off. Okay, and that way we'll be able to kind of tile up the roof and everything. So, go over here, and I'm going to load up my UVW unwrap. Edit it. And obviously you'll notice that, hey, what's going on here? Yeah, it's tried to get things working and couldn't quite work out what's going on. That's okay. That's okay. So what we need to do is select everything up to there. Just absolutely everything. Go around it, just make sure we have it all selected. Yeah, which we do. And then we can do a projection map, cylindrical. And have a look and see what the heck that is. I swear to God, if that's another mystery bloody polygon in there, I'm going to be furious. Certainly looks like it is. It looks like it's just an edge out of nowhere, doesn't it? No, look, there it is. It's just not bridged properly. Okay, so take this off. Drop that down again. You can see where the error is, and by fixing it, our model will honestly be a trillion times better. So there, then bridge, there, and then bridge. Control S. I mean, the difference between this and our original tower is basically minute. However, unwrap UVW. There we are. Yeah, the difference between the two is minute in how we perceive it, but for the editor, it's massive. Right. Turn this off again. As you see, it's still down there being weird. And now it isn't. Nice. Okay, so we've got this part here kind of where it shouldn't be. So what I'm going to do is just grab it, go to Tools and Detach Edge Verts. And then I can just move it over to there. I can work on it properly in my own time. Right, we have a few bits that need to be moved, so holding shift just to make sure that I'm kind of opening our model out nicely, and I can just use the grow tool. Just gives me access to all these little parts here, you see. And don't forget, of course, that there's some at the bottom. And I'm just going to expand the hell out of this so that I can basically see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to get these. Just 6 polygons now. And you may remember earlier just how catastrophic our poor little model was. There we go. So we can go now into our scale tool. Scale them down just equally like that. Scale them in. As you see, we can't scale them all in simultaneously. Damn shame. I'm just going to move this along to here so it's in the middle. Obviously, so that I can just bind that one in. There we go. And it depends, I mean, are these alcoves for statues or what? I don't know. I'm sure it'll make sense at some point. Now I'm going to just scale this up. There we go. And now we have some room to actually do some welding. So what I need to do is go to vert mode, which is down here. Tools, and then go to target weld. And you can see that when I do this, parts of it light up to let me know where to move stuff. It's always useful. I do love target weld. It's surprisingly tremendous fun to use. And you can see from the other parts exactly where stuff goes, which is a help. For example, that obviously goes there. There you go, see? And then over here we've got this polygon, which is presumably that one over there. There we are. Lovely. As I say, there's nothing not to love about target weld. This flap here can come out, this flap here can come out. And what I'll do is I'll break this polygon. If it lets me. There we go. Tools, detach the edge verts. Just bring it over here. So you can see where it fits. There we go. And again, target weld. So satisfying when you start clunking these together and it all looks like it's making sense. Maybe you can optimize the living hell out of this map as well, should you so desire. Right, we've got some crossed verts over here. Maybe we'll tidy those up. Because you know you can't expect to do everything, can you? There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely lovely. So now I can just pack these up a little bit. Okay, and the roof's just going to be basically black, you know, so over here, if I just close it down, we can see that I'm going to just projection map it like that. It makes doing the top a lot easier if I do it this way. And then I can just use the scale tool just to make sure there's no parts kind of overlapping where there shouldn't be. Which there most definitely is by the looks of things. And that should be the top of the tower. There we go. So now we can arrange it. And I'll just move it to here. It's not exactly going to get, you know, the best quantity of polygons compared to the other part, but I think the other part needs considerably more detail than that one anyway, so... maybe to there, and then I can just put a little bit more scale on this. So even a little bit makes a difference. There we go. And this is tower top, isn't it? So mapping, tools, render. Render that booger out. And save as. This is tower top, so... tower top 1 UV template. Mark it down to a JPEG. Done. Oh, it's nearly lunchtime. Fantastic. I love lunchtime. Wonder what I'll have. Right, close that. And that. Control S. It's a much, much tidier mesh. Very happy with that. There was a lot of superfluous stuff that I really don't think we needed. Okay, so if I go over to Photoshop, just save these off, and then open my new tower top. Here we are. Open that. So we're going to do the same process as before. We've done this now a lot of times, so Control-Shift-I with the selected stuff. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to use my fill bucket. There we go. And then I'm going to break out, obviously, 2 layers from this. However, there's a little bit more to it than last time, obviously. So, layer, new from cut. There we go. Let's give them some names. Tower top, tower main, main side, whatever. Turn the background back on. I'm going to change the opacity down on this because I need to obviously now start breaking it up a bit. So this part here, just make sure I've got it all rather than not quite got it all, which is what I suspect I have there. I'd rather go over. There we are. And layer new via cut. Layer properties, lower, tower roof. Okay, and then go back to tower main side, and this is... I don't know what this would be. Is this cornicing? Is this like concrete parts? I don't know. Stone parts, presumably. So I'll just call this stone parts. What am I doing? Yep. So... Control-Shift-J. Layer properties and stone parts. Parts at top. And then we've got basically a layer of stone parts at the bottom here. So Control-Shift-J. Stone parts at bottom, like that. And now we have to cut the windows out, so I'm going to use my polygonal lasso tool. Getting nice and close for this one because it's can be a little bit of a nuisance sometimes. And I think these are all supposed to be stone actually, so I'll go from the outside. These aren't windows. There we go. So, Control Shift J, and this will be, I don't know, a vestibule. I don't know what it is. Inner bit. There we go. It's an inner bit. That's what it is. And I'm just going to change the opacity on this to higher, like that. And then I can kind of see what I'm doing here. Let's see, and I'll put a quick outer glow on it, like that, so I can see where it is. I know it seems bizarre, but Control A, Control C, Control V. Now I've got a spare one. Just making sure they're in the right place. Oh, I've got Control held down, not Shift. There we go. Just in the right place. Just a bloody nightmare, believe me. So I've got a few left to go here. However, I can multiple copy them to make it a little bit easier for me. Obviously you get the joy of being slightly more precise than me, which is wonderful. And then marquee and get rid of this bit. And then just kill off the effects. And that. Okay, so now I've got all my various parts here. Let's change the opacity back. There we go. So these are all the bits. As you can see, create quite a collection of stuff. And what I'm going to do is make sure that there's basically a grey background going on back here once I'm done as well, so I'll stick that in. Okay, so tower top is greystone. So I'm going to copy that. Hang on. Tower top greystone, I don't think it is. Let's make a new layer. I mean a new file, shall we? 500 by 500 V image adjustments levels. Let's just darken this up a bit, shall we? That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's add a new layer to this. And for the new layer, I'm going to add some black. Then I'm going to change the opacity down a bit. So it's just starting to kind of come through a bit like that. There, that's okay. And then I can call this a roof material, I think, so I'll just go and put this in my references and call it rooftop. Like that. And then we have something I can use my rooftop at least. Let's move that across one. Come on, get over there. There we go. So we're working on tower top. I'll put that over there. And then I'm going to just create my clipping mask. Then I'm going to go to my lower tower roof and put these two next to each other like that, and create a second clipping mask. There you go. Now I want my stone parts at the top here. That's grey stone, so Control C. And basically just create a clipping object. Now stone parts at the bottom, same again. There we are. And over here for our tower main inside, we're going to go to our base wall. And just flop it down into here. And then create our clipping mask. Like that. So that leaves these parts here where our doors are, or whatever they are. And I'm not sure exactly what to have them as at this point. I'm kind of thinking about it. I might just have them as a nice dark grey, so I'll just use my finger tool here. Just do that. Select nice dark. And then go over here and just use my fill tool. There we are. Like that. And now I can obviously go and use my dodge tool. Just kind of go down it like this. Nice bit of unevenness to it as well, which is cool. Okay, and then if I go to the stone parts at the bottom. Oops, wrong part. Could actually do the layer, haven't I? And then the stone parts at the top. Don't really need to perfect the roof. I'll go to this, which is layer 6, and just go around the doors themselves, just bring some dirt into them. Like that. Don't want to put anything down the side there. Just having a look at this, we could easily draw some kind of additional lintels and stuff around this if we wanted to. Probably just using like the polygonal lasso tool. Literally allow us to just go over them like that. Okay, and then you could just fill them with some simple concrete. Or just use the brush tool, or whatever. Just fill them in like that. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do this. I am not creating simple lintels at the minute. I am just doing a simple texturing job. Although it is tempting. How much time have I spent? Decisions. Let's have a look. Well, I can see where they would go, so... Oh, now look what I've done. I'm creating a new layer. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, let's go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then... you can create these kind of parts here. Like that. Okay, and I'm just going to fill them in using our brush tool. Paint tool or whatever. There you go. Then I can probably just put some lines or something in them using the brush tool. A bit of white or dark or something. Maybe our dark. Just to show how easy it is to like get these things in. Just use my, let's see, which tool do I want to use for this? I can never remember. Pencil will do. Actually no, solid, I'll use a line. Here we go, line. Only want it like 1 pixel. There, and then there to there. And just collapse them like that. See how simple that shape is? It's just ridiculous. Okay, I'm just going to go and put a quick burn around the edges here like this. Just dirty it up a bit. Like that. and create a copy of it. Just stick on this one. I mean, these are way wonky, but you can kind of see how stupidly easy it is to do these. Although we have to remember to put one in here, as it comes out the other side as well. And then marquee trim off the bits we're not using. Okay, and we end up with this, which is kind of just a simple lintel that looks like ass, quite frankly, but will no doubt do the job we need. See what blending options can do for it. No, that'll do. Actually, no, because I have no idea what colour that is, because I'm colourblind, so I'll probably just use something like a multiply. There we go. Okay, so with that done, which it probably is. Oh, just undid it again. Turn on my background. There we are. I'm going to save this, so Control S and tower top 1 base texture, because that's what it is. I'm witching, aren't I? And then I'm going to do an NDO. Still haven't activated it. It's like the running joke, isn't it? Maybe I'll activate it at the very last part, who knows. Presets, stone wall, active. I reckon it'll take about 1 minute to do this, which is enough time for me to put my feet up. Possibly. You can hear my port chair creaking away. I think this chair's 2.5 years old, and seen better days. One of the wheels has fallen off, and it's just not a well chair. Oh, nearly done. Should be just finalising it now. Or calculating stuff, one or two. There we go. A little bit of adjustment to it. Okay, that's fine. Makes me happy. Control Shift. Well, Control Shift S. Control S. I'm going to save this as tower top 1. Can't even see what I'm doing. There we are. Tower top 1. Normal. Then I'm going to convert this, obviously the same way I always do, to an AO specular. There we go. Trying to imagine what I'm going to have for my lunch now. Something healthy, perhaps. Can't believe I said that. Come on, you. Yeah. There we go. That's our occlusion. So, tower top. Always fall for that, don't I? Tower top 1 ambient target. And I saved this wrongly as well. That should be a target. Although it never hurts to have more than one. And that's a lot of specular. There we go. Control S. Tower top 1 specular. Okay, so close all these down, including that. There. And what I'm going to do now is fire up Dido. DDO. Because DDO's our friend. Sometimes. Go to the automation hub and just pick out the one we want, which is probably going to be quick dirt again or whatever it was. There you go, quick and dirty. Quick load our junk. Ambient, normal, specular, and again I've made the diffuser PS. Eesh. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? But I didn't. There we go. Just mash the D button. Not going to bother pausing again. Just adjust my tablecloth. I've got a tablecloth on my desk. Isn't that lovely? It's kind of quaint. It's nice as well. I don't know what colour it is, but it's nice. Always does that, remember. For my version, anyway. And, like a complete dickhole, I have loaded the wrong ones in. Nice. Goodness sakes. Okay, let's do it again. That was the old one. Were you thinking, while I was doing that, Chris, what you doing? Why did you load the wrong one? Which I did, obviously. Well, obviously, because I'm a bit silly. Oh, dear. Could be time for a dinner time nap. So, quick load. Tower top one. Specular, normal, ambient, base texture. Did it again. That's my diffuse. Let's go and save out my diffuse separately, shall we? My base texture, Control Shift S. Tower, top one. Diffuse. Done. Right, now I'll quick load it. That's tower 4. It's tower top 1. There it is. Fire them in. There we go. And just go. Just go. Go on. Damn thing. Wait for it to get its stuff done. Won't take long. In fact, I think it's nearly finished. It's nearly finished. That's just the specular map. It was having issues with on the fill layer. Okay, let's see what it looks like. So it'll create 4 preview maps. Nice. A little bit bouncy at the back there, but I'll probably take that one off. Whee! Okay, that'll do. Just press that, and then I'm going to go here. And that'll export all my maps for me. Close that off. Go down here. And in my materials, I shall go to my diffuse and set a bitmap. And I need to get my tower top, not that one. So there we go. Show up this diffuse one here. There. That's pretty nice. I like that. I like the separation between the bottom and top parts of the roof as well, which is nice. But yeah, I can live with that. That's cool. Okay, so in the next part, we're going to be going on to, let's have a look, Tower Top 2. So let's have a look at Tower Top 1, put it over here. Model parts rebuilt for correct topo and then textured up. Done. And for Tower Top 2, I'll move that to being worked on next, so because that's the next one obviously in our plan. Go over here and let's have a look at tower top 2. Tower top 2, here we go. Hit F4 and oh Jesus. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Apart from the fact that ergonomically it doesn't actually fit with anything else in here, I think I'm going to have to just do a quick cull of this one. And let's see if it's still in separate sections or not. No, at least it isn't in separate lumps. Okay, well, when you next join me, I'll be swaying at this model, swaying at the modeler, which was me, by the way, and unwrapping this little beauty. So, till then, TTFN.